Holistic education in practice. Most things in education are not either or, rather they are a little of each, are found somewhere on a continuum. I am a holistic educator who believes in a whole language philosophy. Now, this does not mean that I do not use direct instruction or use external rewards for motivating, along with trying to focus on meaning and develop internal motivation. Good teachers try to find the balance that is best for their students. Good teachers teach students, not the curriculum. As a holistic whole language teacher, I start with authentic literacy activities, reading and writing that focus on meaning. And then I use direct instruction as a way to help students create meaning. Whereas a purely behavioral or skills-based approach would simply teach a series of skills out of context so that students would eventually, in theory, be able to use reading and writing to create meaning. Direct instruction of skills is necessary but not sufficient. That is, using only direct instruction or only a skills-based approach presents these skills outside a meaningful context and makes learning to read and write harder. And it bores and frustrates the pants off our learners, and it makes it far less likely that way they will fall in love with books or use writing to express themselves. An analogy, if I may, I used to coach both wrestling and volleyball. Now, some coaches spend weeks and weeks just doing drills with the mistaken idea that their athletes would come to practice and then be able to use these skills in authentic game situations. Now, with my volleyball players and wrestlers, I do work on skills. However, I get them immersed in authentic wrestling and volleyball playing situations starting the first day of practice. This way, the skills make sense, they have fun, and they get a sense of the whole or the game. Also, watching my athletes wrestle or play volleyball every day gives me a sense of what skills I need to teach. I am much better able to assess what skills they need and teach them directly. A purely skills-based approach would simply teach a scope and sequence of skills. And then we wonder why these athletes wouldn't be able to perform well on game night. We teach the student, we teach the wrestler, we teach the volleyball player, not the curriculum. Now, if I could apply holistic learning theory to the preparation of teachers, I would immerse them in the act of teaching, first thing. That is, pre-service teachers would be out in the schools working as apprentices or paraprofessionals. They'd be immersed in an authentic teaching context. This would give them a sense of the whole. They would be having conversation with other professionals and having actual authentic experiences with students. Within this context, they would come in for smaller bits of instruction. I'd still have a set of skills and concepts for them to master, a curriculum. However, pre-service teachers would have a context to put these skills in. It would be far less abstract than simply having me describe something. In my opinion, we do teacher preparation in the worst way possible. We feed our pre-service teachers little bits of knowledge and skills, thinking that at the end of the line, they'll be able to put them together in a meaningful whole and be a master teacher, just like putting together little bits of a jigsaw puzzle. Now, you will be a good teacher in spite of what we do to you, not because of what we do to you. And that's one of the problems. We are doing it to you. Education is not something you do, it's something that is done to you. What if you were a volleyball team or a wrestling team, and in practice all we did were drills? We never let you play volleyball or wrestle. Would you be prepared for the big game or meet?